Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Everyone just loves New Mexico to upset number 6, have the potential to go at least one more round. Deron Holmes, Shahade Wells, and Enrique Freeman, 3 players you have to know about.
Greetings. We are back, my friends. The FTN Fantasy College Basketball Betting Show. Mike Randle here with you every Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. And look, I know it's divisional round weekend. I know the NFL is rolling today. We have some great things. We have the College Football National Championship coming up. But you know that after this weekend passes, we're starting to get to February. And then we're starting to get to March. And when we do that, March Madness is upon us. So you want to be here, get ready to go. And remember, today is the giveaway. Today is the $50 parlay giveaway. I am sending one of our subs, one of the people here on YouTube, $50. We'll set it up afterwards. You can get my DMs. We'll figure it out to give you a parlay bet today. And in order to do that, I will announce it at the end. We will go through exactly what we need to do. I will pick somebody at random and I will let them know. We'll do the $50 parlay. That's the fun here. So as always, we're going to go through the show. We're going to go through all the picks. At the end, you want to join FTN Fantasy right now. Look on the bottom of the screen really quick. Public service announcement, early 15 gets you 15% off. That's what we need right now, 15% off. You get access to the rest of the NFL playoffs. It's a 365 plan, so it takes you through the entire NFL season next year. You get it works on FTN Plus, all sports, high stakes fantasy football, NFL DFS, NFL betting, Bets Plus, all the packages that you're looking for. Go to FTN Fantasy, hit it, put in early 15. Use the promo code. You won't be disappointed. And trust me, when we get to March Madness, you're really not going to be disappointed because some of our content now is moving over, and it's moving over only to subscribers. Why? Because that's what we have to do. We have to pay the bills, and those that are subscribers, they get first crack. So hopefully you all get on and join us when this is over. Let's get to the comments, see who's here, folks. Here we go. Oh, we got our normal list of great people. Dan is the first one in. As always, Dan, great to see you, buddy. Great slate of games. Yep, let's have a day. We have a big day today. Really, really big day today. Preston's got a question. Obligatory Mizzou question, line too low. I'll cover at the end. I did not pick that game, Preston. I'll tell you right now, I didn't pick it. I stayed away from it. We can talk about it through at the end. Make sure you put it in there. I will answer it for you. Al, great to see you, buddy. Best show out there. Thank you. Alexander Blanco, good morning. Let's get after it. Appreciate it, Alexander. Tommy, big Saturday. Yeah, it's going to be, being a member. Appreciate it, Tommy. Big day today. A lot of games, a lot of underdogs. You know what happens when I pick underdogs. Let's get ready to roll. Daryl, wouldn't be a show without you, buddy. UNC is heating up Levian Jackson's game. I may Levian Jackson's prop today, Dan. I agree with you. His stock is rising on the draft board. 140 games. Yep, you got it, Jason. Well, Jason, sometimes your hopes can become reality. There's a little spoiler alert. Mizzou, let's go, Mike Ray, for some picks. Costco, back at Costco. Great to see you, buddy. Kool-Aid Man. Oh, that's funny. The Kool-Aid Man entrance. Very good. Nice to say. Very good. College basketball greater than NFL. Yeah, they're both great. But once we hit March, man, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. Hit that like button. Appreciate it. People are flying in. Yeah. Australian Open is great. Guimond Fay with the big win over Taylor Fritz. Like that. And Josh Gross is killing it in our Discord. Here we go, guys. And I'll do the parlay giveaway at the end. It's going to be a question. And I thought about doing a random number or something like that, but you got to be a subscriber, got to like. I have to check that. And I'm going to ask you a question. It's a numeric question, and whoever gets the answer will be put into the random draw, although only one of you may get it. That's what's going to be interesting. Here we go. Okay. We will go in order of confidence as always. These are the least confident picks. I cover as many games as possible because I know you have interest out there. So I cover the least amount of games. Let's see what happens here. This one is least confident. They played a couple games ago, and Louisville beat them by 20. Now, the only thing that worries me is the flip-flop corollary. You know what that is? Where usually these teams are very close in terms of evenly matched with the spread. So the first team that covers and wins usually does not cover and sometimes doesn't win the second game. That's the majority of what goes on here. The problem is Virginia stinks. And right now, the teams that I really like or really hate are starting to really solidify in terms of being good or bad against each other, good or bad against the spread. Teams that we've jumped on, that we supported, are starting to get hot. Coaches that we hated, who maybe burned us in the beginning, are starting to come back to earth. Losing Tony Bennett before the beginning of the season cannot be understated. and they're scrambling here. Louisville is scalding hot. They're home. There's no look-ahead game here. 16.5 is a lot. It was at 14. A very low wager here, very small wager. I'm going with Louisville minus 16.5. Again, least confident in this one because they beat them by 20, and maybe Virginia keeps it close, and maybe Louisville can't make shots, and they win by 12. I don't know. But Virginia's not winning this game. It's just a high number. But we're going to go with it. Don't like Johnny Dawkins, don't like UCF, and I love Houston. Houston is one of the best teams atop our power rankings. We love them. They're right at the top there. I get it. It's a road game if you don't want to play it. I get it. It's a lot of points. I just think Houston's really good. I think UCF stinks. And Johnny Dawkins is not a great coach. He's a little bit king of the little people. They'll play some cruddy teams, and they'll beat them by a decent margin, but they're not winning this game. I am taking Houston minus 13.5 against UCF. Again, least confidence. Now we're starting to get a little more confident. I have struggled with Florida State. My record on picking Florida State games has got to be the worst of any team in college basketball. But I think this is too many points here. I don't think they're motivated. I think Damon Stoudemire has done a better job getting his team going here. So I do expect Georgia Tech to keep this game close. Florida State, they're okay. If you look at their metrics, they're not great on the offensive boards. They're not great at shooting threes. They're terrible at defending threes. So you could have a situation like New Hampshire went into UMBC a couple days ago on Thursday and just starts bombing threes from beyond the arc. Georgia Tech is getting better. They're competing well. They beat Notre Dame. They beat Boston College at home. Clemson at home, that was a tough battle. They lost that one by 11, but they were in there. This just seems like a flat spot. I don't see a motivated Florida State team. This is not Duke at home who's going to blow teams out. Florida State plays California away. I'm taking Georgia Tech here plus 10.5 points. It's a lot of points. Again, small, half unit wager on these games because they're not my most confident, but I know people like them out there, so I cover them. Yeah, believe it or not on this one. Auburn is spectacular, but they don't have Janai Broome, and they're coming off a huge win over Mississippi State, 88-66 at home. In that game, 10 of 24 from three-point range, 17 from Chaney Johnson, 20 from Chad Baker-Mazzara. Denver Jones hit a couple threes. Pettiford was awesome. That's fantastic. I don't think they can repeat that. I think this is you lose Janai Broome and you get a big bump and you get fired up and you're home and now you're on the road and you're struggling. Georgia has been solid. Georgia has size. They can hit the boards. I don't like Mike White. This is a lot of points. And who does Auburn have coming up after this game? After this game, Auburn ends up playing Tennessee at home. Auburn is 4-0. They are atop the SEC with Mississippi, who's 4-0. Tennessee is 3-1. This is a sandwich spot. This is Georgia right in the middle. Very shaky. They're good on the boards. Maybe they don't shoot as well as we think. Georgia's 2-2. They're going to need this game. This is a great, great battle for them to make a statement. I don't like Mike White. I don't like Georgia, but I don't like Auburn without Janai Broome. They're good. They're national championship good. But when you lose the big player, you get a bump right away. Then you come back to reality. And with Tennessee on the horizon, this is a sandwich spot. Georgia +6 versus Auburn would be higher, except it's, say it with me, Mike White. Boy, all those people that ripped on me about hating UConn this year and me fading UConn, they've sort of disintegrated, haven't they? They've gone away. I told you that UConn is not going to be as good as they normally are against the spread. They're still going to be a really solid team. They're still a tournament team. They're still going to be in the top 3 of the Big East, but they're just not going to be as good as they normally were. And they've lost Liam McNeely as the player inside, the freshman who's dynamic. They're 8-1 against the spread, and here comes Creighton. Now, Creighton lost Pop Isaacs, but you have a really good coach in Greg McDermott. And Creighton going on the road still has Ryan Kalkbrenner inside, who's going to be a problem. Samson Johnson's going to have to D him up. And this number is too high. I am taking Creighton +8. They beat Providence at home by 20. They went away to Butler and won. They played away at Marquette, which is really tough, and lost by 8. They played St. John's at home. They squeaked that one out. They hung 86 on Villanova. I know it's no Pop Isaacs, but they're still well coached. They're still a solid team. They're just not making their free throws. Yes, Danny Hurley's going to scream and yell and go nuts, and I understand that. One of the props that I do like in this game is Solo Ball. Solo Ball's been outstanding. Solo Ball's been tremendous, and with McNeely out, he's going to get a lot of shots, so look at that one as well. But I'm taking Creighton +8 against UConn. I do think Creighton is the big pillow. I don't like them a lot, but I do put them here as a +8 in this matchup. Shout out to Rich DeMarco, who is the voice of Army, my good lifelong friend, Rich DeMarco. I just don't think Army is very good. Kevin Kuick is the head coach now. Took over the program last year. They're just okay. I don't trust them. They have won 3 straight games to beat Loyola Maryland, Lehigh, and Lafayette. They're playing better. But BU is always one of the top teams in the Patriot League. BU is 3-2 here. This is a big spot for them. They beat Lehigh at home, BU, with a nice win by 5 and a cover. Now they're going on the road. I don't think they should be an underdog. Army can be very up and down. You can have good Army and bad Army. I am taking BU +2 at Army. It's a coin flip game. You want to go money line, I'm fine with that as well. I don't think George Mason should be a favorite by 10 points. George Mason is good, but not great. They are home, but it's a big commuter school. It's not a big home field advantage. They are 4-1. They have St. Bonaventure away coming up. So there's that look ahead spot to the Bonnies. Here comes G-Dub. G-Dub is just 2-2, but G-Dub is good on defense. They're good at defending the 3. They're good at defending inside the arc. They're good at forcing turnovers. And so far, Chris Caputo's squad in the first 4 games of the A-10 is number 1 in the A-10 in defensive ratings across the board, especially per KenPom, defensive adjusted efficiency. So I'm taking G-Dub +9.5 at George Mason. Colgate's starting to get hot. This is one of the teams that I've been targeting. Colgate is a really good team. They're always the class of the Patriot League. They usually win the Patriot League. They started 4-11 and 1-1. They struggled. But since then, Lehigh home by 5, BU home by 27, Navy home away by 7. They're getting hot at the right time. They have the 1 loss to Bucknell away already, so they can't mess around here. They are scalding hot, and here comes Lafayette, who has done much of nothing this year. Not great at free throws, not great on defense, not great on rebounding, not great on forcing turnovers. This line should be 3 or 4 because Colgate's going to win, and they're going to win comfortably. I'm taking Colgate -1. Don't feel great about this one because it's a lot of points at Detroit. It's just I always back Greg Kampe. Greg Kampe teams, he's been at the Oakland coach for 40 years. Always one of the best coaches in college basketball that you don't know about. They are 4-4. The team has struggled. If you look at the metrics on offense, they're bad at 3-pointers. They're bad at making free throws, but Detroit Mercy stinks. And Detroit Mercy is a team in disarray. They're 6-13. They're 2-6. Mark Montgomery took over. This year is his first year, came over from Northern Illinois trying to get it right. He had a nice bump to start the year. They beat Niagara. They beat Ball State. They beat Eastern Michigan away. They beat Purdue Fort Wayne, which was a great win. But since then, they've kind of come back to the reality. And I think Oakland here, even though they're on the road, gets the win and does not get tripped up by Detroit. And I hate taking underdogs that I don't think can actually win the game, and I don't think they can do that here. So Detroit Mercy last year lost to Oakland away by 5, and they only ended up playing them once. I just think it's tough for a first-year coach going against Greg Kampe. Advantage Kampe. I'll take them there. This one should be higher. I think Kansas bounced back. Kansas has been struggling here. I know Kansas State is a rivalry. If this game was at Kansas State, I would feel differently. But Kansas lost to Iowa State. They're now home against Kansas State. They came home against Arizona State. They won by 20 points. They cannot mess around. They have lost 2 games here in the Big 12. They're falling behind in the Big 12 race. You have Houston at 5-0, Iowa State at 5-0, Arizona at 5-0, and then Kansas at 3-2, which a bunch of other teams. You are going to get absolute max effort here from Kansas. They cannot mess around. The fog will be packed. This is a 20-point win by Kansas. Yes, Kansas State is a rival. They cannot mess around. Kansas is a really good team. Maybe they're not elite, not top 5 as they normally are, but Bill Self usually figures it out. They got to get going. They still have Hunter Dickinson inside, and this game is at home. It's a lot of points in a rivalry, but I am laying it here. Be careful with this one because UMBC, usually when I miss on a pick, I'm 1 game too early, which means that my read is good. I just may have applied it too early. I'll give you the perfect example. Xavier, a couple games ago, I was waiting for the Ryan Conwell 3-point game. That didn't happen. Fremantle was back. I knew he was going to be great on the boards. They played St. John's. Neither of those picks hit. The next game that Xavier plays against Villanova, Conwell goes 6-10 from 3-point range, and Fremantle goes over on his rebounds. So I liked UMBC against New Hampshire. They ran into a buzzsaw in New Hampshire for some reason who can't make threes, goes 11 of 20, 11 of 22, like 50% from 3-point range, something like that. So they could run away and hide here, but Maine is really well coached by Chris Markwood, and I expect them to compete well in this matchup, even though it's at UMBC. You look at the America East, no one's talking about this. Maine is 3-1. You have Vermont, who's super shaky at 3-1, and Bryan, who's 3-0. So Maine is sitting there under Markwood saying, we can win the America East. That's nuts, but they believe it, and they're right. They are great at shooting three-pointers. They're shooting 41% from three-point range. So UMBC, who gives up threes, as you saw against New Hampshire, they struggle against New Hampshire, who stinks from three-point range. They can do well here against UMBC. UMBC plays a really fast pace, and they could get up and down the floor. They ended up being American away. That can happen. So not a huge play, one of my lower plays, but we're going here with Maine +2. A couple more games, and then we will get – I got to give you this one. Then I'll get to the comments. So for those that aren't aware, there's a little buzz about Eastern Michigan first half games. The books have identified a pattern of concern, I think they called it, in Eastern Michigan first half games, that there was a lot of money coming in and the first half number moved, but the overall number did not. So it's something like there was an Eastern Michigan game a couple of weeks ago where Eastern Michigan was favored by 8. So your first half line is typically 4.5. And all of a sudden it was 6.5, 7, the first half line. So this is what I'll tell you. That's not good. It's not good for Eastern Michigan. And there's a lot of eyes on the Eastern Michigan program right now. And in those situations, a la Temple last year, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, maybe last year, that's not good. So I don't see this really pulling Eastern Michigan together and they're banding together to play well. I think they're in disarray. And Bowling Green at home is able to get flammable. They can shoot some threes. There are some turnovers. Not a huge bet here, but I like Bowling Green to win big against Eastern Michigan, a program that's in flux. If you believe that Eastern Michigan is now going to make a statement and say, we got to prove to them that what, that's not how this normally works here. So you want to take this one off the card. I have no problem with it either, but I'll take a chance with Bowling Green that Eastern Michigan's in a little bit of flux because the spotlight's on them there as well. Frank Brank loves this one. Frank Brank's models. We have so many great people. Ryan Coleman, Gus Kearns, Walt Waddell is incredible. Everybody is jumping in our Discord, getting the plays here. Frank put them up this morning. When I joined FTN, one of the greatest parts about FTN is Frank Brank getting in because he runs the simulations 10,000 times and then gives you the model, which is usually really, really accurate. Northern Illinois was one of those. Northern Illinois has been terrible this year, but at some point they are going to win and they're going to play well. And I think this is the perfect spot. Northern Illinois is 0-4 in the MAC, the Mid-America Conference. They are 4-12 overall. They lost their first 4 games. They lost to the aforementioned Eastern Michigan. They lost to Kent State, Ohio, and Miami of Ohio. Now they play Central Michigan at home. They don't get this game. I don't know who they're going to beat. The numbers aren't great. It's just that I don't think Central Michigan on the road should be favored by double digits. Central Michigan is terrible from three-point range. They don't force turnovers. They're not great on the boards. They're not great defending threes. They don't really do anything well. They beat Eastern Michigan by 19 in a rivalry game. Great job. But 10 is way too much. I wouldn't even mind a money line play here. Northern Illinois is going to beat somebody. And Central Michigan is not that much better than Northern Illinois. Sure, Northern Illinois has been terrible from the free throw line, and they're bad on defense, but they are good at forcing turnovers. So all we need is a couple, one guy to get hot from three-point range. I think this number is way too much. I'll take Northern Illinois plus 10.5 for Central Michigan. Bottom of the barrel for Miami. I don't like, I like getting points with home teams when I get from 5.5. That's a magic number that I've seen historically. So 5.5. I am taking Miami plus 5.5 against an SMU team that really isn't that good. They played Duke without Shire when he was out sick, and they ended up gagging in on that one. They didn't even play well. It's Andy Enfield. Yeah, they're good on offense. They get up and down the floor, but they haven't really separated themselves. They beat Georgia Tech at home, but when they've been away, they beat Virginia. They should not have beat Virginia in that last game, but Virginia covered. They got blitzed by North Carolina. They won away at BC. Good job. That's more about BC. And then Butler away, they lost by 11. They haven't done much away. The only team they really have played well against away is Boston College. They should have beat Virginia. So 5.5, too much. Miami still has players. They're in disarray because Larinaga retired. But this is really it. They're 0-6. They're home. It's SMU. They're not good. It's about time to get a win. Don't you think? Give me Miami plus 5.5. Let's get to the comments. They're flying here. I got the parlay. I will announce it very soon. It's coming very soon. Let's see. Selwyn Regassa. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Selwyn. I appreciate it. Very good. Need this win today. You got it, Richard. Let's see. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I picked you. I know I did. The law of efforts here. Hi, Roland. Law of efforts. Check his temperature. He said, thank you very much. Winning Saturdays. Appreciate it. Darryl, let's find get 6.5. Listen, I love Auburn. I don't know. They're that much better than everyone else that you lose Janai Broom. They can just roll twice. They can win this game by 3 or 4. We still cover. No. Lean the over with UConn. Appreciate it, Goss in the house. Jameson, good to see you. But Jameson, I'm not coming anywhere near that West Virginia. I love Iowa State, but yeah, I don't know about that. Let's see. Chad in the house. Appreciate it. Guys, I'll announce the parlay now, the contest. Because we have a lot of people in the chat here. Want to make sure we give it away. Yeah, love Maine, New Hampshire, Consumor. Yeah, it's a scandal. Let's see. Michigan in the MAC. Yeah. Michigan's crazy. It could be, yes. And Miami getting a little bit healthier. Guys, here's the parlay, okay? The giveaway. Back in high school, Gus Kearns and I, best friends, teammates, everything. We were both Gus was the starter. I was the sixth man. That's how this worked. And we were both assigned to guard the opponent's best player. So Gus would start on him. I would come in second quarter. Gus would start third, go back forth. We had a really successful season. Leonia High School championship, the whole thing, states, everything, whole thing. We played a team from Rutherford, and their leading scorer at the time was averaging 44 points per game. 44 points per game in high school. He was the leading scorer in the state of New Jersey. He was on fire. Gus and I guarded him at home, okay? If you want to be eligible for the parlay, I want you to put in the chat right now how many points Gus and I held the leading scorer in the state of New Jersey. I'll say Ed. I won't say his last name. 44 points per game, 2 in our matchup. Now, I'm going to give you one. You can't just keep typing in numbers. It's not going to work. It's not 0. Like I say, it's not 0. That I will tell you, it's not 0. So put in the chat how many points you think Gus and I held the 44 point per game leading scorer in the state of New Jersey to in high school in one game. And those people that hit the number will be put into a drawing, and I will give one of you a free $50 parlay. I thought about doing random number generator. That's not going to work. So we held him to a certain amount of points. The numbers are flying in. Here they come. So we got 18. We got 8. We got 16. We got 5. One guess per person. Okay. And whoever ends up getting it right, I will Venmo or PayPal, however you want it, $50. You put a $50 parlay in today on me. Put it in. See how we do. Put the numbers in there and I will check. I will tell you this. There is a number on the board right now that is correct. I will tell you that right now. So one guess per person. I'm going to check after this. Got to be a subscriber. And then whoever gets it, I'll put it and we'll do a drawing and I will Venmo it. Okay, here we go, folks. Let's get ready to get back to the games. So we did our matchups. Let's see. What's the next one? A couple more here, and then we're going to get out of here for you. Okay. I think Rhode Island's in a bounce back spot here against Davidson. I'm a big Rhode Island fan. They've Davidson on the road, no way. And if you look at Davidson's numbers on the road, they have not been good. So let's take a look. Davidson is dealing with, they have a lot of people coming back, but they're not great on defense here under Matt McKillop. Away at LaSalle, they lost by 3. Away at George Mason, they lost by 8. Away at Temple, they lost by 1. The only game they won away was Bowling Green. They have not played well away. They have St. Joseph's at home coming up. Rhode Island needs this win badly. Archie Miller's going to have them ready to go. They lost 2 of their last 3, the G-Dub. They lost away to Loyola Chicago. I think they get this one. I think they push Davidson around. I think Davidson is soft. I am taking Rhode Island -2.5 in this spot. I'm always going to take Radford against Charleston Southern. Radford under Darius Nichols, really well coached. I think this number is too low. Every year he does this. Every year Radford is atop the Big South. They're always so well coached. They're great at defending threes, only allowing 29% from three-point range. They're great at making threes. They've struggled with turnovers a little bit, but Charleston Southern does not force turnovers at all. Radford is better. Charleston Southern beat Gardner-Webb at home, and since then, they lost to Longwood. They lost to High Point. They lost to Winthrop in 3 overtimes. They are tired. And now here comes Radford, down screen, back screen, really well coached. No interest there at all. I am taking Radford -3.5 in this matchup. This is a flip-flop matchup I want you to be aware of. Flip-flop matchup here for Florida Gulf Coast. They played at Queens 2 games ago, and Queens is really good. They played at Queens on Saturday, January 4th, and they beat Florida Gulf Coast, lost to Queens 92-83. Queens is 5-0. Florida Gulf Coast is 4-1. So both of them are near the A-Sun top. They're battling. Queens is first at 5-0. Lipscomb, Jacksonville, and Florida Gulf Coast are 4-1. I don't think Queens has the chops to beat them twice. I think this is a perfect spot for Florida Gulf Coast. I think Florida Coast gets them back. I don't think Queens is sweeping them. This is going to be a tie at the ASUN. Queens is really good. We've done well with Queens at home. On the road, I'm not buying it. Florida Gulf Coast gets them back here. Like this pick a lot, -4.5 against Queens. Brown is good. Brown is solid, but they also turn the ball over a lot, and Harvard is really well coached. This is a coin flip game. I am taking Harvard +4.5 against Brown on the road. I'm not ready that Brown's going to beat teams by 5 at home. Yes, they can compete well. Yes, when they're an underdog, they're a great pick, like against Rhode Island. Okay, now Brown is a favorite at home against Harvard. Harvard is really well coached. Tommy Amaker, you know they can get up for this game. They're playing better lately. No, they are not among the Yale, Princeton elite teams of the Ivy, but they're still really solid. 4.5 is way too many points. You got to be kidding me with this. I understand North Florida last 2 games have burned us because they've been scalding hot from 3. North Florida hit a ton of threes to start the season. Then they went into the tank, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. Now they're coming out again. But this is North Alabama. This is Tony Poolhole. This is a team that is great defensively against the 3 and great on the boards. I am going with North Alabama -2.5 at North Florida, that those 3-point barrages actually end. I believe that. I'm going with them there. 6.5 with Evansville is too much. Belmont, Casey Alexander, good team, well coached. Love everything about Belmont. I just think that we're looking here on the road with Bradley coming up at home and then Murray State away. This is the quintessential sleepy spot. 4 straight wins for Belmont. Good job. Evansville at home, losing 2 straight games, but they lost to Drake away and Northern Iowa away. At home, they beat Illinois State by 18. At home, they beat Missouri State by 17. They play well at home. They hung 98 on Doug Gottlieb, who's dead man walking on Green Bay. They play well at home. They're good on defense. They're good inside the arc. They're not great on offense, but they have to muck it up a little bit. I don't think Belmont shoots well here. I'm taking 6.5 with Evansville. Let's see here. Couple more, and then we will get out of here, and I will announce the parlay. Towson is really hot. They're scalding hot. The only thing with Towson is they can't make free throws. Pat Scary's bunch doesn't make free throws, but they are playing so well right now. And that's another team, a really good coach who finally figured it out, and now they're dangerous, and I'm riding them. They started the year 4-8. They had 6 straight losses. Kent State, Kennesaw State, UC Irving, terrible. But since then, they've gone 5-1. Beat Bryan at home, beat UNC Wilmington away. Northeastern, Drexel, Hofstra, no look-ahead spot. It's North Carolina A&T on the horizon. Stony Brook is in a bad spot here. Pat Scarry, really good coach. Pat Scary's team's getting it right. Don't turn the ball over. Great from 3-point range. Stony Brook going the wrong way. Lost 6 straight games. I don't think all of a sudden they get up here to play. When they played Delaware and they lost by 10, they played Northeastern at home. They lost. They got drilled by Drexel at home by 18. Pat Scarry, I believe in him. I'm going with him there. I believe in Merrimack. I think they're going to bounce back here. Siena coming off the big win. But remember, Merrimack, they played well against Quinnipiac. They got buried early. Siena doesn't have the offense to pull away from Merrimack in this matchup. They were 5-0. They lost to Quinnipiac away, only by 5, though. They're going to come back. This is a big response spot by Joe Gallo's squad. Siena is not great on offense, which is not what you want to see when you go against Merrimack zone. Siena, good win over Sacred Heart. Great second half, by the way. They played them. What they hang? They hung 54 on Sacred Heart at home. That shows you what I think of Sacred Heart. But I think Merrimack bounces back here and gets the win. Big, big win. A couple more games, and then we are going to the parlay. Yeah, we lost to Coastal. That one hurt me, but I'm going back to them again here at home, +3.5 against Marshall. Coastal's really good at home. They lost that one. They were up, and then they gave it back. But remember, I'm usually a game too early, and I think I'm a game too early here. They've lost 3 straight games. I think they have a big win against Marshall. Marshall coming off the loss to James Madison. This is kind of a letdown spot. And you're going to give me points with Coastal Carolina at home, who's always good at home. I'm going to take them 3.5 there for Coastal Carolina. And then we have Texas San Antonio +10 against North Texas. Rivalry game. North Texas is good and physical. They're great on defense. They're great at forcing turnovers, but they're not great on offense. That's the thing. It's very much 3, and that's it. They're terrible at defending the 3 because they have that pack line defense with Ross Hodge. They're good inside the arc, and they play at a really slow pace. So North Texas can struggle on offense, is on the road here against the Texas rival, are terrible at defending the 3-pointer, and they play at a really slow pace. And you're giving me all these points. I don't see it. This is a Roadrunners team, Texas San Antonio, that made 38% of their threes. I think they can keep this one close. They're also good at forcing turnovers. This is entirely too many points. That is it. Now, folks, the parlay. Let's see what we got. The answer is Gus Kearns and I, in high school, small forward, 3 and D. He was much better than me. But I came in and played defense. Like, I shut you down. And we both together guarded the leading scorer in the state of New Jersey, His name was Ed. He was averaging 44 points per game. How many points did we hold Ed to in that game, in a big game for Leonia High School here in New Jersey? The answer is, let's see how many people have it. Well, we got a winner, folks, because there's only one person who got it. One person who got it, folks. Preston Smith. Preston, congratulations. It is your lucky day. Gus Kearns and I held the great Ed of Rutherford to 8 points when he was averaging 44 points per game. Great job, Preston. It was almost 5, Preston, but he hit a 3 in the fourth quarter on me. I came off a staggered screen, and I lowered my shoulder to try to get through those screens. Got my hand up. He hit a 3 in my face. Otherwise, it would have been 5, by the way, which means Tommy B, you would have won. There would have been a couple other people who hit, I think. Quantitative eating would have gotten it. The answer is 8 for Preston Smith. Preston, hop in my DMs at Randle Rant. Let me know. I will send you the 50. We will put the $50 to a parlay today. If you hit it, you keep it. It's yours. Our gift to you here, a free $50. You can do 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever you want. Go for it, Preston, because it's on us. Well done, Preston. Hop in my DMs. I will give it to you there. Guys, we will do this again. We will absolutely do this again. I appreciate it. Preston, great to see you, buddy. Congratulations. Yeah, Clay. Yeah, Brett, he was the same type of guy. It was, tall guy, 6'4", shoots threes, one of those things. I appreciate it. So congratulations, Preston. High rolling, headgear, glasses. I was all over him. The thing I was fast. I was a runner. I went to BC. I was a runner, so I could guard you. Gus had the long arms, much better defender than me. So Gus would wear him down, and then I just come in and get in his face like a psychopath. You know what I mean? Kind of like, like the way Woj was at Duke, slapping the floor. You know how it is. Anyway, the answer is 8. Preston, on us, my friend. Let's do it. Appreciate it. Now, guys, little sad news here. We have to make money here at FTN, so I can't keep giving you away the store, okay? So I will tell you the games that I am not covering on the show. They will be in the Discord. As soon as we get off, I'm going to put them in the Discord. Then my son's got a basketball game today. I'm going to go there, probably get kicked out, right? Yelling at the at the ref. Anyway, point is, I'm going to mention the games that are in the parlay. I'm going to mention the games that are my favorite picks, but those are going to be in the Discord. You got to come to FTN. We got to give the subscribers something. It's now January 18th. We're getting close to February, which means we're getting close to March. Become a subscriber, monthly plan. Use that promo code that's at the bottom, early 15. You get 15% off the annual plan. NFL, MLB stuff is incredible. It's coming up. NBA, NFL draft. All of Jeff Radcliffe's projections, everything we got, the models, the data, Stats Hub. We made Stats Hub free. I'm just telling you, you can say that I'm promoting the company. I am, because if they fire me tomorrow, I'm going to stay a subscriber. That's the truth. You can say, hopefully they won't fire me so that you don't have to prove it, but it's true. I love this company. So I'm going to tell you the games, and I'm not going to tell you the picks. Those, my top picks, which are 7. There's 7 picks today in the parlay, 7 favorite picks going in the Discord. You have to be in there in order to get it. Here we go. So the games, I'm just going to tell you which games are in the parlay. St. Peter's Sacred Heart is in the parlay. So the funny part is those that are loyal to the show probably know who I'm picking here, which is what's funny. St. Peter's Sacred Heart, one of my favorite picks. St. Bonaventure at Duquesne is one of my favorite picks. Pittsburgh Clemson, one of my favorite picks. UNC Winthrop, one of my favorite picks. I can hear the subs laughing at this one. Oregon Purdue, one of my favorite picks. Okay. Alabama Kentucky, may be surprised on that one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I got a couple more that we're going to put in for the subs. American Holy Cross and Loyola Chicago Dayton. Be careful, Loyola Chicago Dayton. So those are going in the parlay. Those are my top picks of the day. Those picks will be in the Discord as soon as we get off. Give me the comments here. Preston, give me your Twitter. Give me your Twitter X. Give me your X account. Put it in here, and then I will. I'll let you know. No problem. Put it in there. Sorry. Let's see. Daryl, you sure? No problem. Let's see what we got here. UTEP Marist. Okay. Let me pull the games up here. UTEP. The UTEP game. UTEP is away at FIU. Here's the concern. I liked FIU last game, and they struggled against New Mexico State. So, Daryl, my attitude is I'm always a game early. I don't want to go back to that game. I stayed away. I like UTEP because FIU struggled, but I was really on FIU against New Mexico State. They were down big early. They closed, and New Mexico State shot well from three. UTEP can shoot well from three, so that's a concern. UTEP's also terrible on defense inside the arc. It's a stay away from me. I like Joe Golding, but I'm not high on. Marist, I love. I love Marist in the MAC. Marist has won 9 straight games. They're 6-0. My issue is Marist is going to beat Ryder, but they're going to cover the spread. Marist is a very good defensive team. They're great inside the arc, but they can turn the ball over. I like them. I do. I just worry about covering big numbers with them. That's my concern. And the last one is Elon. Elon has been great, very physical. Nice win over Drexel. They got Delaware away. I would go Elon here. Out of those 3 picks, Daryl, Elon is the one I like the most. They got Monmouth coming up. It's no Hofstra, no UNC Wilmington, any of that. They're 4-1. Billy Taylor's group, great on the offensive boards, has done a real nice job. They don't turn you over, but and I know Delaware can shoot the 3 well. That's the thing you have to be concerned about. But I like Elon in that matchup. I do. Preston, I got it. No problem, buddy. I got it, Preston. I will take care of you. Yeah, hi, Roland. You know the deal. They'll all be in there, and I'll have the parlay up very soon. You want to have a fair Dice? You want Fairfield? Let's see. Let's talk about Fairfield. These were ones that must have not. Yeah, Canisius stinks. Die dropper. Sorry, Darriper. Sorry, buddy. I'll call you Die. I'm fine with Canisius is just horrific. They got blitzed by Iona. Fairfield is 3-3. They're coming off a win. They're usually pretty good at home. They beat Iona. I'm fine with it. Canisius is terrible. I'm fine with Fairfield there. No problem at all. Darnell, you went to Dwight Angle? Oh, yeah. Darnell, great to see you. Yeah, it was. I was at Leonia, Darnell, and we played Ed, who was from Rutherford. Dwight Morrow. What's funny, Darnell? I should mention this. The assistant head coach for the Ravens, Chris Hewitt, he's a Dwight Morrow grad from Englewood, and he and I were like the 100-meter champions of Bergen County. I beat him, and he beat me. And we played at Bergen County Champions. So it's funny. I have connections to Dwight Morrow also. Love Dwight Morrow. Love Englewood. Chris Hewitt and I racing. Ernest Simmons, those guys racing. We had a huge rivalry. Great guys. Totally great guys coming up. Let's see. Anything else, guys? Hit the like button. I appreciate it. I gave you that. And I think we're good. I think we are good, guys. We're getting out of here. I'm going to put these picks in the Discord. Appreciate all you guys for the like and subscribe. We will do more giveaways, of course. Like I said, got to hold back those top picks for the subs only. Got the parlay in there. Preston, congratulations. I will hook you up in a minute as soon as we get off. So we'll be ready to rock and roll. Here we go. Let's have a day, folks. And good luck on your NFL picks as well. Divisional week's always great. FTNFantasy.com, the only place to be because we give you the edge. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays. See you again on Tuesday, folks. Good luck.
Here are 3 players to watch in the NCAA tournament that if you don't know, you better ask somebody.